So my neighbors brought by 3 knives that are going to really put my knife sharpening to test. These are some pretty nice VG10 Shun knives. The nice Damascus San VG10 core. Man, they've been beat up. I think they're like 15, 20 years old or something. And they were getting ready to throw them away, so I said I would take a stab at it. I've actually already started on this one a little bit. So this one's got the whole chip out here, so I'm gonna totally have to redo the way that this is set up. But it's a great opportunity to get out my, you can see I was working over here, my 140 stone and get to work. So for this one, I'm gonna have to really work out that nose, get that down into something flat first, and then I'll get to work on it, actually sharpening it, but one thing at a time, and then we'll work on these two as well. This one's got some major chips out of it. Looks like it was mistaken for a butcher's knife. But yeah, that's a Santoku 7-inch. It's a nice knife. So we'll see what we can do to salvage these knives. They have these really nice handles, so I thought it was worth a try. See what happens. All right. Okay, so got to work on this and very happy with what I've gotten done so far. Now if I go ahead and put a nice edge on this, which I'm going to have to put a whole new edge on this thing because it is absolutely dull if you don't believe me. Let's go ahead and check that out. It's not even biting the edge slightly there. It's so far from cutting the paper. So yeah, this now is close enough. It's still like a little, there's still a little flat end there, but it's close enough that if I go ahead and put an edge on it, it's going to pretty much eliminate that flat end. And like to the naked eye, it's just going to be absolutely fine. So excited that that didn't take that long. I don't know, maybe like 5 or 10 minutes of work, and now we have a workable blade to go put an edge on. All right, I'll be back in a bit. Okay, I realize I should actually show how I'm going to sharpen this a bit, so I am going to start here on the 140 stone and just go ahead and start putting a basic edge on it using this 140. And then once I get a burr on this side, I'll come back on the other side, and we'll go from there. But I just wanted to at least show a little bit of this sharpening process. All right, so I think we have the initial edge on here that we need. We'll get some paper for testing here. This is just a 140 edge, so we're not expecting to actually be able to get through here. So just continuing to show our progress, but starting to get something. And yeah, looking more like a knife. So we'll continue to work on it, but good progress so far, and this should be a successful one. Okay, we just finished up here on the 400 grit. See how it does. Starting to get pretty slicey here. Still hasn't gone to the 600, still hasn't been stropped. I might go to the 1200, I gotta decide how things are feeling, but overall, looking much better. All right, we are through the 600 grit now, 600 grit now. So now is when I expect to be able to start to cut paper pretty easily. Seems pretty consistent. Needs a little more sharpening down here, but up top's feeling pretty good. So I'll work down this part a little bit and then pretty much ready to strop at that point. Now, one of the most important parts I learned about the strop from probably other knife sharpening videos or whatever is if you sharpen this way, don't just come back here and go this way. if you came down this way, you have to strop that same direction because you don't want to go against your serrations, right? If I was sharpening this way and then I decided to strop this way, which is actually more natural for me, then I'm going against my serrations, right, from before. So I have to track the opposite of what I was doing when I was sharpening. So I'm going to hit this and then we'll be finished. Okay, and here's that moment of truth where we figure out if I actually know what I'm talking about or not. Looks like we did just fine. Remember, this was a knife that was totally unusable. Now, I mean, it basically didn't have an edge on it, and it was totally flat on the nose. And you can barely tell with a close-up there that it still has like a little bit of a flat nose. I'm not too concerned about that. It's generally good enough. And man, you probably couldn't tell that this thing's overall been restored if you weren't aware of it at the beginning of this video. So I'm very pleased with how it turned out. Look at that nice flat edge the whole way across. A little too steep here in the front, but happens. Overall, very happy with how this looks and excited to get to work on the other ones. Okay, next one is the chef's knife. This one is pretty beat up. A big chip there, a really big bend right there. Fold, whatever you want to call it. More damage. The nose is not flat anymore. So this has been bent, so I'll try and bend that back as well. This thing is definitely beat up. This is going to be a lot of work at this size, but it's a beautiful knife once it's all said and done, so I think it's worth the while. So, all right, here we go. Well, I received a very tough lesson in VG10 just now, which is don't try and bend the tip back. So I'm going to leave this one alone. I'm just going to sharpen it out as much as I can. I just gave myself a ton of extra work because now I got to blend that in like I did on the prior knife. So that's going to take an extra 20 minutes or so. And good lesson learned there. Thought that would be tougher, but it was very brittle. Did not take much to break that off, unfortunately. All right, here we go. Just bringing you back to show you a little bit of the progress here. Getting closer. You can see a lot of that metal dust there on the edge. Pretty cool. There you go. There's a good look at it. But yeah, getting closer. We're almost there. It's been about, I don't know, 6-7 minutes, so not too bad. Okay, we're pretty much there. Another zoom on that. It's pretty funny. Pretty fun seeing the metal filings there. And it's kind of hard to see now that I'm at double zoom, but it's pretty much a regular tip again, so it's not perfect, but it'll do. It'll do. All right, time to start sharpening. We have some serious work to do on sharpening because of these big chips. So this thing's basically getting a brand new edge. This has zero capability right now of, at least I would think, of cutting paper. I just broke the paper basically. So, all right, off to work. So this is really the beauty that you got to embrace of sharpening on a 140 stone. I now have this crazy burr on here. Well, it's not a burr yet, technically, but like you can see that little edge facing up. I probably only sharpened for like 3 to 5 minutes, and look how much smaller the chip is in this. Like you almost can't even see the chip at this point. You can only see the bend. It's right there, but I mean, I haven't even done the other side yet. So I'm about to go switch to the other side, but just crazy how fast that can make a difference. Awesome, love it. Embrace the 140 stone, embrace the, the high grit, get the work done there, and then come in with your low grit to fancy it up. So I'm gonna double check my work, but I'm think we're done with the 140 at this point. It looks so much better. It's just so cool how you can restore a knife. Like I said, I'm not gonna bother trying with that part right there, but where's the chip? That big old chip is gone so quickly. Really cool. Very excited with how this is turning out. This is going to be a very usable knife in short order here. So we're going to move from the 140 down to the 400. All right, we're down to the 600 grit now. So really just not honing, but finalizing this edge and getting it where we want it to be before we strap it. 600 grit, I think generally pretty good for the kitchen. Keep me honest. What do you do? Feel free to throw it in the comments. Maybe 800. I don't know if a lot of people go to like 1200 or 2000 or whatever. I know they're available. I haven't, but I haven't found that the cutting, like I don't find that it cuts better once I go there. If anything, it cuts worse. I kind of lose the effectiveness of the micro serrations. So yeah, we're gonna finish this up on the 600, and then we'll go to the strap. All right, we are ready to strap this thing. Again, if you're sharpening this way, this means you would strap back the opposite way. I tend to do like a 20 pass. I think I learned from like a knife center video or something like that. Sometimes I'll go like 10 passes, and then I will do something like a nose, 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 tail, 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 tail kind of thing. And then, you know, another 10 like this, just to make sure I don't miss, because it tends to be that it's hardest to get here and here for some reason. So yeah, gonna strap it up, and then we'll do a little paper cut test. All right, here is that moment of truth. And man, I am really happy with how this turned out. Very cool. Let's get a little close up on that edge. Okay, look at that little laser beam. Aside from like that one spot where it's bent, it is just a laser. How sweet is that, that thing can be restored to such a nice point. Wow. Okay, let's put our money where our mouth is. Can it cut? I would say so, sir. So yeah, aside from that one little bend, this thing came out really nice, especially given I chipped the tip off, but I'm kind of glad I did, because I don't think it would have ended up looking this nice with that bent tip. So, you know, it actually came together really nicely. That's all for now. I'm not gonna finish up the last one here. This one, maybe I'll do another video or something, but I'll probably do tomorrow because it's midnight over here. So did this after our dinner party when my friends dropped the knives with me. And just kind of got home and got motivated very randomly. So yeah, aside from that one bend, that is now basically a brand new knife. So cool. I hope they enjoy it. If you enjoyed the content, please feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.